He'll play the free safety spot. Last year, he was a ball carrier over in Baton Rouge against these same LSU Tigers. This one just about set to get underway, and Suarez to the near side. Horton at the 40, breaks it, he may score. At the 30, at the 10, count it off, 6 points, Texas A&M. This crowd of over 70,000 has erupted in Aggieland. Taking the opening kickoff was Horton. The extra point, Lane Talbot, the junior out of Beaumont. And remember, no tee. High pass from center, and Brian Payne did an excellent job to bring it down to the Aggies. 13 seconds into the ball game, have gone on top 7-0. Kevin, let's take another look at it. 92 yards.
Larry Horton, highly recruited tailback, now a safety, doesn't get much opportunity to run the ball anymore, but when he does, this is what you can expect from him. Tremendous blocking, the heat not bothering him, and the importance of this play cannot be understated. In this heat, and A&M's history of not scoring points against LSU, this is a big, big play at home.
Eric Moore throwing one of the key blocks on that 92-yard touchdown run.
We say one other thing too, Ron. Lance Pavlis now has 7 points on the board before he has to take a snap at center, and that too cannot be understated.
The 12th man on the field for the kickoff. The last time that A&M returned a kickoff for a touchdown was Carl Roaches, who went on to play professionally for the Houston Oilers, 100 yards against Boston College. That was in 1973 here in College Station. Harvey Williams, fully recovered from knee surgery, and he is hoping to do the same. And in fact, Kevin, I think it is witness to the fact that he is out there on the kick return team along with Wayne Williams back deep, that he is trying to say, my knee is A-okay.
He requested it, Ron. He wanted to return this kick.
Williams at the 1. At the 30, knocked out of bounds across the way. Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Road Handler. The starting quarterback for LSU is Tommy Hudson out of Matthews, Louisiana. The running backs will be Harvey Williams and Jay Egloff. The wide receivers, Alvin Lee and Tony Moss. The tight end is Big Ronnie Halliburton. At center, he's Blake Miller. At the guards, Ruffin Rodrigue and Jim Hubicks. At the tackles, Raymond Smoot, a redshirt freshman, and Roger Hutchinson. Moss at the 35, breaks off a tackle, crosses the 40, and Moss is out to the 44-yard line. Defensively for the Texas Aggies, Pat Henry is the nose guard. The defensive ends, Terry Price, the only one of the 3 experienced up there, Jason Black on the right. The outside linebackers, All-American Aaron Wallace, along with William Thomas. The inside backers, John Cooper and Jeroy Robinson. The cornerbacks are Mickey Washington and Kevin Smith. And the safeties, Gary Jones, who has been battling a pulled muscle, along with Larry Horton, who is out of Tatum, that we saw on that kickoff return for 92 yards just a moment ago. A&M offside, penalty declined, and it is 1st and 10 for the LSU Tigers. Fumble on the ground, Williams recovers. Williams making his own recovery as very quickly the defense coming up. Jason Black from that right defensive end spot applying pressure.
Of course, they want to get the ball to Harvey Williams. Immediately sat out last year with a knee injury. Much of his rehabilitation has been psychological. The knee was ready to go last year. Harvey wasn't. Look for LSU to run at the left side, the right side of the A&M defense. That's where Jason Black, 5th string defensive end, has started.
under blitz, gets his pass away. Moss wide open, overthrows him at the 35-yard line. Oh, my goodness, he had him open, Kev. Jeroy Robinson was applying pressure, but he had gotten behind Kevin Schmidt.
LSU offensive coaches do not expect Hodson to throw for a high percentage, and this is why. This is the strength of the A&M defense. Inside, Jeroy Robinson getting to Hodson, forcing him to throw it early, and even though Moss was wide open, he couldn't connect.
Victor Jones checks in the ball game at fullback, replacing Eglaw. Good protection, far sideline, overthrows Harvey Williams. It will be 4th down, and we'll see the kicking unit for the LSU Tigers. Rene Bourgeois, just under 42 yards a kick, 8 inside the 20-yard line, as Shane Garrett drops off in a single safety for Texas A&M. That's Halliburton, who comes rushing back on the field to join the punt team. Pressure almost blocked. In fact, I think he overran it. Garrett at the 8. And he is tackled as he crosses the 15-yard line, 49 yards in the kick, and 7 on the return. And great coverage as Steve Lofton makes the tackle. We'll be right back. Wilson, the fullback, going straight up the middle. Carl Dunbar, the first man there to make the stick. And let's check the starting lineups for Texas A&M. The quarterback, junior Lance Pavlis. Behind him, Robert Wilson and Darren Lewis. The wide receivers, Cornelius Patterson and Percy Waddle. The tight end is Mike Jones. In the interior line, it's Mike Arthur at center. The guards, Mike Pappas and Darren Groot, Richmond Webb, and Matt McCall are the tackles. We'll check the LSU defense in just a moment. Lewis hemmed into the outside, and he goes down at the 21-yard line as white jerseys all over, and it's Tony Houston who turned the play back inside. Let's look at the Tigers defensively. Mark Boutte is the nose guard. The defensive tackles, Carl Dunbar and Clint James. The outside linebackers, Oliver Lawrence and Shannon Cornelius. The inside backers, Verge Osbury and Juan Sindoya. The cornerbacks, Jimmy Young and Corey Raymond, and the safeties, Tony Houston and Tommy Faubacher. First pass for Pavlis, and he hits his tight end, Jones. Good for the first down as he crosses the 25 and out to the 28.
Big play for Lance Pavlis, and an easy pattern, a delay from Jones, who is an excellent receiver. He just runs underneath. They want to keep it simple for Pavlis, gain confidence. He drops it to Jones for the first down. Excellent play calling and execution by A&M.
Looks for a block, turns the corner, will have it out to the 31-yard line as that ever-pursuing LSU defense, which has always been their trademark. Oliver Lawrence, the senior out of Monroe, 6'2", 242, comes over to make the tackle. Mike Archer. And he's got the sun side of the field, and with that 92-yard kickoff return to open the afternoon, I would imagine the sun side got even a little bit hotter. The special teams has always been the specialty of the LSU Tigers.
They're ranked very highly in the nation on special teams.
Two tight ends. Lewis to the 34. Juan Sindoya, the redshirt freshman out of Miami, Florida. The first man there to make the hit. And it's going to be a third down Texas A&M. They need the 38.5-yard line.
And if there's a difference in LSU this year as opposed to last, it's depth, and their defense can run very quick, and they have some backup people.
Aggies 41.7 last year in third down conversion. Lewis under pressure, and he's sacked at the 22-yard line. Dunbar and James coming in from those two defensive tackle spots, and it's a loss of 12.
Matt McCall, number 77, is 300 pounds, but Carl Dunbar, number 63, is among, if not the best defensive tackles in the nation. And Cliff James may be right behind Dunbar.
Kevin Ellis, who was a junior walk-on out of Seguin, will have the punting chores today. Off the side of his foot. Coming down to Moss at the 39. Jimmy Young, I beg your pardon, and he's going to be tackled at the 41. 37 yards in the kick into the wind, 3 yards on the return. And let's take a break with 9:32 left in the first. Aggies lead by 7.
Ron Franklin and Kevin
Kiley from Kyle Field in College Station, Texas. Hodgson 1 of 3 on that opening series for 11 yards. Williams hit in the backfield, and he will be knocked down for a loss by Jeroy Robinson, the senior out of Bryan, Texas.
Robinson is the strongest player on the A&M team. He was an outside linebacker, and one of the things he felt he had to work on is he had to react a little more slowly on the inside when they moved him there, but he reacted fine on that play and made it inside out.
Todd Kenshin checks into the ball game, the sophomore out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Hodgson delivers, has it complete. It is Moss, tackled immediately at the 45-yard line by Deion Snow. Probably the most unlikely of anything written on any jersey today under these weather conditions. Senior out of Los Angeles, California. R.C. Slocum, 16 years an assistant coach here at Texas A&M, getting his first chance as a head coach in Aggie Land. Near side to the field, caught by Lee, but he's out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Well, there's the big upset this afternoon as number 6 Florida State fell to Southern Mississippi. Oklahoma 73-3 over New Mexico State. Rene Bourgeois with the second punt of the afternoon, 49 yards in his first attempt. Shane Garrett is the deep man for Texas A&M. End over end. That will bound and take an LSU hop at the 10, goes back upfield, and the Tigers will touch it down at the 16-yard line. Wayne Williams, the first man downfield. ESPN's presentation of college football continues on Monday with a special edition. It's the Texas Longhorns taking on the 14th ranked Buffaloes of Colorado. Be sure and join Mike Patrick and Gene Washington for all the action, and that begins Labor Day evening at 7:30 Eastern Time. The Horns and the Buffaloes.
Two programs about to explode on the college scene. I think Colorado should be a co-favorite for the Big 8 title.
Texas A&M leading 7-0. Wilson blasted at the line of scrimmage, going to be knocked back inside the 15-yard line. It was Verge Osbury, the senior out of New Iberia, who collided first, and then a host of other white jerseys, Shannon Cornelius, the redshirt freshman out of Minden there also. No gain in the play, second down and 10. 100 degrees at game time here at College Station. Lewis fumbles the ball, recovered by Darren Lewis. You could see Dunbar, number 63, coming in from the backside, and it looked for a moment as though he had a shot.
Okay, Pavlis really doesn't need to make any mistakes. Again, he's the guy on the bubble for Texas A&M. That ball never in the stomach of Darren Lewis. It falls on the ground. Lewis, enough presence of mind to get back on it. A&M would just like to avoid disaster and let Pavlis get his feet on the ground.
Jones is tight end over the middle for the first down, close to the 40.
The first thing they teach you, you need to hold that tight end up in passing situations. The job doesn't get done. He's loose in the middle, and Lance Pavlis lays the ball right in his eyes. A perfect pass by Pavlis, and this is key. 2 receptions, 2 passes, both to the tight end.
Tony Houston, the junior out of Ruston, Louisiana, as you can see, came back with a decent cover, but the pass was thrown perfectly. Lewis, left side, hit in the backfield, breaks off a tackle and will pick up a couple. David Walkup, one of the first men to hit him.
We keep referring to Lance Pavlis. He grew up and went to high school just down the road. High school player of the year 3 years ago, was recruited here. Tremendous athlete, passed for over 5,000 yards. But under Jackie Sherrill, not used all that much. And when he did, frankly, he did not play too well. This year, a new offense. He's suited for it. He's getting his shot.
Whistle on the play as it looked as though the center, Mike Arthur, started to snap the ball, held up, and then snapped it. An illegal procedure is going to be whistled against Texas A&M.
That's a dead ball. Illegal snap, offensive center.
It needs to be pointed out that the Texas A&M offense is entirely new. Bob Toledo came over from Oregon, installed an offense completely different than the option offense run last year. Here's a look at Bob Toledo. This is a wide open offense, and a lot of these things are new. So if there are missed handoffs, drop snaps from center, maybe because there's a lot to think about.
One of the things that Pete Jenkins, the LSU defensive coordinator, told us earlier this week, he said, we got to feel them out in the first quarter. We don't know what to look for. Pavlis on the roll, throws it complete. Cornelius Patterson out across the 40. And it's going to bring up a third down situation. And A&M will be looking at about 9 yards.
Bob Toledo, the coordinator, likes to move the pocket, although Pavlis does not throw as well on the run. That one not bad, but had he not led Cornelius, he might have been able to turn upfield. Cornelius Patterson with the catch, a junior flanker, and a flyer. The guy can run a 4-3.
Pressure in the middle screen to Wilson, turns it up across the 45, and is going to be shy of the first down by 3 yards as Osbury puts a stop on that one, along with Carl Dunbar, and the Aggies will have to kick it away again. It'll mean Kevin Ellis. Sean Wilson had been the regular kicker on this ball club. R.C. Slocum said that the walk-on, Kevin Ellis, out of Seguin, has been more consistent, and that's the reason for him taking the job. Young and Kenshin back at a dual safety for the LSU Tigers. 7-0. A&M lead. Off the side of his foot, and that one's going to go out of bounds inside the 32 at the 31-yard line. Only 22 yards in the kick. So let's take a break. A&M 7, LSU nothing. We'll be back to
defensive end for A&M, but injuries to Jeff Huff, Albert Jones, both out for the season with these and some others. And Jason Black finds himself in the lineup. A perceived weakness by LSU. They are supposed to be running at him, but as of right now, they're not having much success.
Harvey Williams right up the middle, and he's belted down after a gain of 1. Kevin, you might talk about the strategy that LSU has just gone to. As that time they lined up with 2 tight ends, taking out one of the wide receivers, trying to get away from some of the blitz that A&M has been throwing at.
Well, they should be stronger, again, with the problem with Jason Black at the defensive end position. They should be stronger. They should be able to run the ball. In fact, need to with Harvey Williams in there. They'll not win the game if they don't run the ball.
Total yards so far, Hodgson 2 of 5, 18 yards. Egloff, the big fullback, cracks his way at right guard up to the 35. Terry Price in the tackle. Some scores today. West Virginia, they were up by only a small amount at halftime, came on to win it big. Pitt, the number 20 ranked team, by 35 over Pacific. Maryland, NC State. We hope you saw that game earlier this afternoon on ESPN. It was a great one. Virginia Tech gets the win. And our score here, as we play with 2:40 left in the opening period, A&M 7, LSU nothing. Hodgson, short drop, look in, pass is caught. It's Tony Moss. And that is close to the first down. It depends on the spot of the football just across the 40.
All-American candidate, Lombardi Trophy candidate Aaron Wallace, a down lineman here coming. But he threw the ball too quickly. Hodgson, a cagey quarterback, a Heisman candidate himself. And watch how quickly he's looking for Moss on the quick slant, and he beats the pressure. But the secondary knows they're going to pressure him and plays tight, and he's able to come in and make the tackle.
Derek Ritchie, a senior out of Dallas, Texas, 2-year letterman, 6 feet 173, made the tackle. Well, you could see by that much, just the fingers about 2 inches apart, that's the distance that the first down was missed by. And it is 4th down, and the offensive unit for LSU has remained on the field. Willie Williams, an extra tight end, is checked in. The Tigers appear to be going for it.
Cadence here. Cadence, they might try and get him with the senior quarterback on the cadence. I don't really believe they have any intention of running this play.
Contact at the line of scrimmage, and there's the first down. As on the left side, it appeared to be Terry Price who jumped across and made contact.
Absolutely no reason that should happen to Texas A&M. Remember I said cadence? You see his head? That's almost an illegal procedure call there on Hodgson when he jumped his head. They were trying to get him to jump off sides. Mike Archer, his team, an experienced senior offense, and they made the right move, get a cheap first down there.
Let me apologize to Terry Price. It was in fact number 11, William Thomas, who jumped across and made contact first. Second penalty against the Aggies for 10 yards. Harvey Williams close to midfield and then wrestled down by Jeroy Robinson. The one thing that Mike Archer talked about yesterday in our meeting after his team went through a light workout here at Kyle Field, he said the fans here at Texas A&M are just like our fans at Baton Rouge, and we don't want to give them the opportunity to get in the game. He said, you see that big thing on the far side of the upper deck? It says home of the 12th man. He said they are just that. Hurdles the 45, and he's down to the 44 as Aaron Wallace, the senior from Dallas, All-American candidate, is there to wrap him up. But Harvey Williams with a good head of steam and very close to another LSU first down.
You saw Ubik 79 standing right there, made a nice block. Now here's Aaron Wallace. Not a tremendous player against the run. Very quick. He's not a physical player. The fastest linebacker ever at A&M, but you can run at Aaron Wallace.
5 carries now for Williams for 4 yards. Great block by Ruffin Rodriguez. Lee in motion. It's Williams again, close to the first down as he goes at right tackle behind Hubix and Roger Hutchinson. Jeroy Robinson and Terry Price there to make the stop, and from the spotting to the football, it would appear he does have the first down. And with that, the end of the first quarter here at Kyle Field. The sticks will come in, and what will happen is we'll have a measurement first. As you can see, Mike Archer stepping away. He wants to make sure they've got the first down and then take the break. And they did not make it. It is just inches away. So Mike Archer gets somewhat of a reprieve or a break here, and the fact with the quarter ending, he'll get to think about it and talk it over with his staff. And LSU will go for it on 4th and short. 2 tight ends. Egloff will have the first down. Jeroy Robinson came up to wrap him up, but Miller, Hubix, and Andy Martin behind their blocking to the right side, and LSU will keep the drive alive.
This is one of the results of the new rule where you don't have a kicking tee. Now that would have been a very long field goal attempt, but coaches expect teams to go for it more on 4th and short because you have the low trajectory without the tee and teams can block long field goals attempts.
Plus the fact LSU working into the wind this quarter, and it has increased. Hansen on the play action. Pressure from behind. Aaron Wallace will sack him. Loss of 5.
We talked about it, the fastest linebacker ever, and there have been a few at Texas A&M, number 23. Hodson, very sluggish coming out of here, and look at Wallace. Not physical, just runs around the block and then makes the dive and gets Hodson. That's 32.5 career sacks, just 5 behind the all-time leader.
William Thomas is the man that Hodson was looking at. Draw play. Egloff hit as he crosses the line of scrimmage and is going to be wrapped up after a minimal gain. Number 53 is Trent Lewis.
R.C. Slocum calls Lewis a classic middle linebacker. He comes in when they're looking for a speed defense. They say of A&M that they can outrun their mistakes. They do make them, but they're very, very quick.
3rd down conversions for the Tigers. They have yet to pick up one today, and they need 14. A&M leads 7-0. Hodson over the middle, incomplete, looking for Halliburton, and it's Horton who returned the opening kickoff, 92 yards for a touchdown, who put the leather on it.
Tommy Hodson a little dejected. He's looking to come back from an off year, and Larry Horton already having a big game, having returned the opening kickoff. He's a banger, a hitter. That's why he's back there.
Brian Griffith, he is the pooch kicker, or so described. He has come in to handle the chores, kicking into the wind from the A&M 46. It for the near sideline. Shane Garrett, the only man back, and he nails it inside the 5-yard line at the 4. The special teams, as far as the punting unit for LSU, have done a magnificent job this afternoon in keeping A&M inside their own 20. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Second period. Wilson, the big fullback, and you could see from field level, and a great shot, and the shot absorbed by Dunbar as he stepped up to make the hit, and understand Dunbar weighs 274 and he rolled over it. If you just joined us, the storyline in this one, the opening kickoff of the afternoon, Larry Horton converted from a defensive back, or to a defensive back this year, returned the opening kickoff, 92 yards for a touchdown. Straight ahead with the running play is Darren Lewis out of the 10, close to the 11-yard line.
And also in that storyline, you saw the kid from Tomball, Texas, getting his chance, 4 for 4, and one of those passes was an All-American type pass, right down the middle for a big first down. So Lance, really, his goal today is not to make a mistake. I don't know if he'll accomplish that, but he's doing fine early.
Strong play, Lewis hit as he crosses the 15-yard line. It's Ventress, the redshirt freshman out of Port Arthur, Texas, who comes up to make the stop. And now I can see why Pete Jenkins talks so much about this youngster. Lewis looked as though he might be headed for a big gainer, and Ventress really closed in a hurry and came knocking.
They can run. The big difference in LSU's defense this year is they're much, much quicker.
Make the draw. Matlis, lots of time over the middle, in and out of the hands of Lewis. It will be incomplete at the 19, Eric Middleton, a sophomore out of Corsicana, Texas. As many of the second teamers are in the ballgame for LSU. But the point that Pete Jenkins made earlier this week also, he said, for the first time in probably 5 years, I don't have a swing man at any spot on my defense. That's how deep we are.
And the heat has a lot to do with that. They need to play a lot of players for late in the game.
Draw play, Lewis over the 20 and is close to the first. Nope, he's going to be 5 yards shy. I beg your pardon. I had him at the 27, which is what they needed to pick up. Ventress is there to make the stop.
If you've scouted this team, you have to believe that Pavlis, they don't want him to make a mistake. You'll see a lot of draw plays. So you have to read the back. Hang in there. It's a nice job by Texas A&M opening this hole for Lewis and him finding it. But you have to look for that draw play because they don't want to put Pavlis in a no-win situation.
Aggies need the 27. Garrett up across the 40-yard line. There is a marker down back behind the line of scrimmage. It is going to be offensive holding against Texas A&M. And Shane Garrett is out of Crowley, Louisiana. Do you think that that youngster would not have enjoyed that even more?
I think
incidental face mask, offensive line, 5-yard penalty.
Again, a brilliant pass by Lance Pavlis. Dunbar's been giving McCall a real hard time. I watched 77 against 63. Dunbar's by him. McCall with the hands out, which is legal, but accidentally on the face mask, which is not legal.
You could hear the call as incidental, so it's not a major. It's a 5-yard penalty, but it is third down, and A&M still needs the 27-yard line.
This is precisely the position they did not want to put the young quarterback in. Third long. I would be thinking screen and draw here. Even worse, they're going to move him back 5 yards. Screen, draw, and tight end.
So now they have said it was a major penalty. So it goes half the distance to the goal line. And the new line of scrimmage for Texas A&M, the 11. Incomplete. Cornelius Patterson, the intended receiver for A&M at the 33. And for the first time this afternoon, Texas A&M will get to punt with the win. So the LSU Tiger defense stiffening as Kevin Ellis comes on. And in fact, the defense for LSU has done a marvelous job, although they're trailing 7-0. It was that opening kickoff, scoring against the special teams. This is going to be Jimmy Young at the 41. Gets the block, cuts it up, and it's going to be pushed out of bounds inside the 45-yard line. Eric Moore will push him out of bounds. 47 yards on the kick, 14 on the return, and I said Harvey's prediction was pretty high. This was the headline in the Bryan College Station newspaper on Thursday.
And Mike Archer not very happy about it. Harvey Williams from Hempstead, Texas. There was a recruiting battle for him, A&M and LSU among others. He wound up at LSU, and Harvey likes to talk. Mike told him, go out there and back it up.
Ron Franklin and Kevin Kiley, and glad to have you along here from College Station, Texas. They come, looking, caught by Moss, and steps out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. Now that is the mark of a veteran quarterback, as is Hodgson. They fake the pump or the quick screen looked long, saw that he didn't have a man, and he came back to Moss, who continued his route out of the flat.
Moss made a nice play, but so did the A&M defense. The pump, Deion Snow doesn't know where he's going. You see number 2, and Moss just looked for the open spot, and him with the experience, Hodson's experience, he got him the ball. You're exactly right, Ron. Good on him.
First down, LSU. Fuller hit in the backfield. Jason Black from his right defensive end spot comes across to make the tackle. It was Fuller who last year, in the absence of Harvey Williams, who had close to 100 yards against the Aggies, had a great game.
They would like to run at Jason Black, number 72. Black shoots the gap and makes the play. Now, he should not be allowed to shoot the gap again. His main asset is quickness, and you saw it right there. You should be trying to get a shoulder on him.
Hudson whirls a time in the flat, has it complete. That's Lee. He is whacked down in the 15-yard line. Lee, a senior out of Beaumont, Texas, as Horton and Mickey Washington combined to the stop, and that's going to be enough for an LSU first down again. 12 yards as Hodson heats up.
It's a well-coached team, LSU. Tigers running deep on that pattern. They sent a man deep, and they had Alvin Lee come up a little short, and Hodson, the veteran quarterback, found him.
Gives to Fuller on the delayed draw, breaks it open inside the 10, and he's down to the 5. Deion Snow and William Thomas saved a touchdown for Texas A&M.
The I formation for LSU is an inside power running game. Their tendency is virtually no passing off the I formation. This should not work. If you're playing defense for A&M, as those guys in the burgundy shirts are, you should realize the I formation is a 99% running formation. Play run first. It didn't happen. They got Fuller loose in the secondary.
You can see Blake Miller, the junior out of Alexandria, Louisiana, number 57, paving the way with a good block right up the middle. Just shy of the first down. Second down and inches.
Formation.
Hodson goes to Fuller, straight up the middle. He'll have the first down. Mickey Washington, number 1, the first man to come up for Texas A&M to make the hit, along with Jason Black. And let's go to Bob Carpenter in Bristol, Connecticut. Bob.
Thank you, Ron Franklin. Idaho is at Washington State late this afternoon, and watch sophomore, or rather southpaw quarterback Brad Gossage hit Tim Stallworth. This play will cover 62 yards, and in the third quarter, Washington State leads at 24-7. They play at BYU on ESPN Thursday night. Now, back to College Station.
Good start for the Cougars this afternoon. 7-0 our game. A&M leads. First and goal, LSU. Hodson to Egloff, breaks it at the 1 and takes it inside the 1. Jeroy Robinson is the man down at the bottom of the pile. Kev, this is just good power football.
Remember the heat, Ron. Remember the heat. They've been on the field a little bit. It's getting late in the half. The team with the ball has an advantage. They know where they're going to go, and defensively, you just have to get tired when it's 120 on the field.
You can see that the field is now in shadows, but that is compared to what? As we start in the afternoon, 100 degrees, and on the field, in the vicinity, as Kevin said, close to 120.
They always run to the wing. Wing is left.
Egloff hit at the backfield and knocked down. He will not get anything as Terry Price, a senior out of Plano, Texas, 6'5", 272, closed the hole.
This is a team, LSU, that you can sell out on defense. They will run left of the center. Here comes your linebackers, your middle guard. Egloff tried to cut back, No way. Tremendous defense. They're very predictable, the Tigers, but also very good executors.
Pat Henry was the man at the bottom of the stack who hit him first, posted him for Terry Price.
Wing is right.
In the end zone, caught for the touchdown, Halliburton. Flag at the line of scrimmage. And you could tell by the reaction of the partisans here at Kyle Field, it is against the LSU Tigers.
During the play, holding in the offensive line, 10-yard penalty.
Hodson showing the poise that the senior has, waiting long in the pocket, found Halliburton open. But with the offensive holding, the line of scrimmage will be pushed back to the 12-yard line. And you can see number 6, Tony Moss, standing to the sideline, bringing in the play.
Now watch out for Moss here on a pick, on a slant.
Caught by Moss, inside the 10, tries to put on the move, and he's got to be tackled by John Cooper at the 9-yard line. That swarming A&M defense simply would not break. Kevin's got to be a field goal attempt as David Browndyke, a senior out of Dallas, Texas, will come on to attempt it. And again, remember the no tee. Bad pass, kick is on the way, and he got it. So a 25-yard field goal by David Browndyke, and the Tigers are on the scoreboard. We got a good one. Into the wind. This one is going to be very short to Patterson at the 16. Crosses the 20 to the 22. Anthony Williams on the special teams. The student athlete of the game is brought to you by the U.S. Army. Get an edge on life. Be all you can be. And tonight's recipient is LSU nose guard Scott Wharton. Scott's an arts and sciences major with a 3.5 grade point average, and he hopes to pursue a career in medicine. Our congratulations to Scott Wharton. Lewis straight ahead to the 25, and Kevin, this is the first drive that A&M has started outside their own 16-yard line because of the great job that the LSU special teams have done.
LSU always has a fine defense. Pete Jenkins is the coordinator. You look at Darren Lewis there. This is a team. He rushed for over 1,600 yards, second only to Barry Sanders. And the A&M team, 258 yards on the ground last year per game.
Lewis now 7 carries, 18 yards. Draw play again. This time it's Wilson, and he's wrapped up in a good solid hit right in the middle by Eric Middleton. Browndyke with the 25-yard field goal, so that drive 9 plays, 44 yards, just about 4.5 minutes. The LSU fans have traveled over to follow the Tigers from Baton Rouge. Sets up the screen to the right, gets it off to Patterson, and he will be up to the 35-yard line, and good for an A&M first down, as Tony Houston came from a strong safety spot to finally wrap him up.
Cornelius Patterson is not a big guy, 159 pounds, and this is tremendous play calling by Bob Toledo. Keep it simple for Pavlis. Don't put him in a bad situation. He gets it to Patterson. If Patterson could get loose, he's got that 4.3 speed, and he could go to the end zone. This
time they roll the pocket. Pavlis has Jones, his tight end, inside the 40, still on his feet, and he'll finally be stopped at the 33. 33 yards to the tight end, Mike Jones.
The toughest guy to cover, the tight end. They're letting him loose, not holding him up. Now, Pavlis, I think, again, is the key. Jones is wide open, but Pavlis is throwing the ball with authority, stepping up and hitting his receivers with confidence and authority. That ball got there in a hurry.
Baubacher finally made the stop for the Tigers. Keith McAfee, a sophomore out of Sugar Land, Texas, who was just checked into the ball game on the carry as Shannon Cornelius comes across to make the Tiger for the tackles. Scores Mississippi State 7-0 over Vanderbilt. That in the second period. Duke by 3 over South Carolina. They're also in the second. Rutgers by 3 over Cincinnati. Our score, Texas A&M 7, LSU 3. Late second period. Here comes the reverse hit in the backfield, and it will be knocked down for nothing as Patterson took the handoff, and Scott Wharton, the young man that we just talked about with the 3.5 average, being congratulated as their academic player of the game, is there to make the stop.
He just went to a 3-6 on that play. Wharton and Boutte are even at the nose guard position for LSU. Two very fine players, expected to be good ones, and that play got sniffed out in a hurry by the Tigers.
Wilson joins Darren Lewis in the backfield again. And the Aggies with some confusion, and Pavlis wants to call a timeout. As Shane Garrett was trying to set up on the right side, then they sent him back to the left, and the Aggies used their first timeout of the afternoon. So let's take a break. 7-3, just under 3 to play until halftime.
Hi, I'm Mickey G of the Pants Store. The Pants Store is serving.
A&M needs the 23 on third down. To run for the first time of the afternoon, and he will be wrapped up at the 35. Carl Dunbar, big number 63, the senior out of Opelousas, the first man to get there and make the hit.
Dunbar, a team leader for LSU, and a guy who can make plays like this. Again, ranked as one of the top defensive tackles in the country. This is the first time Pavlis has really had a third and very long. He didn't wait long, tried to pull it down, but Dunbar able to run, pulls him down. Good decision. Who knows? Maybe the receivers will cover. There's Dunbar out of Opelousas, Louisiana. And they have another one, Flint James, who is equally fine at defensive tackle.
A 53-yard attempt by Lane Talbot, a junior out of Beaumont. And this one almost in the middle of the field. And a marker comes down, and it looks as though the Aggies have been guilty of letting the 25-second clock run out.
Dead ball. Delay a game. Offense.
Two things to remember. I think they're going to bring the field goal team off, but two things to remember. The wind is at their back, and most people expect more fakes and different types of things off the kicking game because of the lack of tee.
Kevin Ellis, the junior out of Seguin, will come on for his fourth punt of the afternoon. Baubacher, along with Jimmy Young, back at a dual safety for LSU. Ellis to the near sideline, lazy spiral, and it goes into the end zone for the touchback. So 41 yards in the kick. Coming up at halftime, the USF&G report, scores and highlights. Bob Carpenter from Bristol. We have 1 minute 41 seconds left until halftime. Texas A&M 7 and LSU 3. Ron Franklin along with Kevin Kiley. And the fireworks started early in this one as Larry Horton took the opening kickoff for Texas A&M and went 92 yards up the right sideline for a touchdown. Calvin Wyndham, junior out of Orlando, is checked into the backfield for the Tigers. Wyndham gets the handoff and is hit immediately and knocked down by 53 Trent Lewis. Lewis, a redshirt freshman out of Huntsville, 6'3", 236.
And he's in there when they go to their quick defense. Lewis does not usually play on first down, but they're expecting pass. So there's a situational defense, A&M. They have some confusion. They're going to call timeout now. Situational defense for A&M. They change a lot of people. And Lewis, you're looking at him here, 53, is the middle linebacker in the quicker defense.
So with 1:18 left until halftime, A&M calls a timeout. We'll take it with them. We'll be back.
A&M in this defense. They'll put Aaron Wallace and Jeroy Robinson down as linemen. And Lewis, who's a classic middle linebacker, is expected to stop the run. He did that right there. The reason they do this is because they want 6 defensive backs on the field. It's a pass defense.
Hodgson on the roll. Drills the pass, has it complete to Calvin Wyndham. Knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line. And they're going to say the clock will continue, that he is knee-touched before. Mickey Washington on the play. Hodgson was 3 of 6 for 22 yards in the first quarter and is now 4 of 5 here in the second quarter.
This is a pretty good call. Wyndham never did get out of bounds. Now they're flooding here, and he hits Wyndham. But Wyndham has to come back a little bit for bang. He's down right there. Mickey Washington making the play, so the clock shouldn't stop. No first down, clock shouldn't stop. And that forced LSU to take a timeout.
ESPN's College Football Saturday continues next week with another strong lineup. At 11:30 a.m., it's College Game Day, the most entertaining and comprehensive show in college football, with your hosts Bob Carpenter, Bino Cook, and Lee Corso. Then at 12:30, it's Fred Akers' Purdue Boilermakers hosting the Miami of Ohio Redskins. Wayne Larrabee and Stan White will be there to call that one. Then at 7:30 p.m., 12th-ranked Clemson travels to Tallahassee to take on Bobby Bowden's Seminoles of Florida State. Join Kevin and I for that one. And it was the Seminoles being upset by a very fine-looking Southern Mississippi team earlier this afternoon.
Yeah, the Beanster picked Arkansas to win the national title. I'm glad I picked Southern Mississippi 2 weeks ago.
I heard you say that. I will vouch for it.
I knew they'd win that one.
And you knew I'd take up for it. Third down Tigers. They need the 30. Hodgson over the middle, has it complete to Moss, and he is going to be shy of the first down from the marking at the 29.5-yard line. And it was linebacker Trent Lewis who put the hit on him to not allow any more forward progress.
Well, Moss ran a pattern that left him short of the first down. I don't know why he would do that. You're going for a first down, you should at least be at the marker when the ball hits you in the chest. I mean, did I say Moss or Lewis? Lewis made the tackle. Mistake by the receiver.
Clock is running down at 34 seconds, now 33. And Rene Bourgeois, the senior out of Baton Rouge, takes his time as he comes on. Shane Garrett is back at a single safety. A&M 7, LSU 3.
They've come very close to blocking a couple of these.
A&M with only one timeout left. Didn't want to burn it there. And Mike Archer and his special teams, as he instructed them to run it down, take the 5-yard penalty, and get it away with only 20 seconds for Texas A&M to have anything to work with.
Well, there's a very stiff wind here, Ron, in LSU's face. And watch out for Steve Lofton, number 9. He's been close.
Pressure up the middle, gets an end-over-end kick away from Garrett, and that one was going to go dead inside the 40-yard line. Clock is down to 8 and down to 7. And Texas A&M, as the clock continues to run, looking at 3 seconds to work with and 43 yards in the kick. And you know A&M wanted a fair catch there so they could stop it, get the offense on the field for at least one play.
I don't want to be picky, but I might point something out. If LSU doesn't down that ball, the clock could have run out. The ref won't call it until it stops moving. That'd be an awful thing for LSU if A&M put one up here and got in the end zone. If they leave that thing rolling, half is over.
A&M at their own 33-yard line with 3 ticks left on the clock. Patterson hit, knocked out of bounds, but the clock had run out. So it is halftime here at College Station. And as they head to the locker room, it's the Aggies off the strength of a 92-yard kickoff returned by Horton. 7-3 at halftime. Now let's go to Bob Carpenter in Bristol.
All right, Ron Franklin, thank you very much. And as we expected down at the Heaton College Station, it is a struggle this evening. Coming up on the USF&G halftime report, reaction from the upset of the day, a Heisman-like performance from a quarterback running wild. SMU is back, and so are Bino and Lee when we return in just a moment, continuing our first Saturday of the year in college football on ESPN. At a slimmed-down Bobby Bowden, Brett Favre, play action, hitting a wide-open Anthony Harris, 2-yard touchdown, and Southern is up. And then with 16 seconds left, down 30-26, a little razzle-dazzle from Bobby Bowden's team. Peter Tom Willis, Casey Weldon, and Charlie Ward unable to get it done. It'll fall a little bit short. And Southern Mississippi will come away after 10 wins last year under Curly Hallman with a big 30-26 win today. The coach felt pretty good about this one afterwards.
Most exciting group of kids. It's not the most talented group I've ever been around, but it's the most exciting, hard-working group of young men I've ever been associated with.
I'll tell you where the game was won. At the last, we had a 2-point lead. They throw a pass out in the flat. We go for the interception and come that close to getting it. And even when you don't get the interception, he tips the ball away, which is a great play. But it falls into their hand, and they go in and score. Now, that was the play. If they hadn't got that ball, it would have been our ball going the other way. It was that close, and we lost it.
All right, that's when they indeed did lose it. Now we'll have a look at further action around the top 20. First of all, let's check in on number 12, Clemson. No trouble at all with Furman today. 30 zip for the Tigers there. The Oklahoma Sooners with Gary Gibbs debuting as head coach. Will they average 73 a game under him? I don't think so. New Mexico State kicked a late field goal to avoid the shutout. Ball State's Cardinals at Morgantown against the number 17 ranked West Virginia Mountaineers. And Don Nehlen now 10 out of 11 in season openers. 35 points today. They win by 25. Pacific played at number 20 Pittsburgh. No trouble at all for the Panthers. 38-3 this afternoon. Maryland and North Carolina State, a ball game you saw a little earlier here on ESPN. And in a defensive struggle, number 24 NC State, the Wolfpack over the Terrapins by a score of 10-6 in that contest. It was a nice matchup there. Now, tonight, number 18 Arizona hosting Stanford out in the Pac-10. The Cardinal and the Wildcats, number 19 BYU, will be on the road against the Lobos of New Mexico. Number 21 Houston with that run-and-shoot offense against UNLV. That's a late game this evening. And let's take a look at some further action from today. San Diego State and Air Force, and what a wacky start the WAC race would get off to on this first Saturday of college football. First quarter, Air Force trailing 7-0. Cadets ball on their own 45. D. Dowis keeps on the option, cuts across, and goes 55 yards for his first touchdown of the day, a 7-7 tie. Little did we know he would get 5 more. Later, Air Force on top 14-7. Dowis again, this time for 28 yards, and Air Force is flying 21-7. To the second quarter with the ball on the San Diego State 12. Dowis up the middle off the option, a dozen yards for a score. Late in the second, he goes for number 4. Shaking off 2 tacklers, 16 yards, and the Cadets are celebrating. Now they lead it 35-10, and he gets 6 touchdowns, a WAC record, as San Diego State falls in Colorado Springs 52-36. Now, action in progress. Duke on top of the Gamecocks of South Carolina down in Columbia, 13-10 in the second. Also in the second, Mississippi State has stretched it out 14-7 over Vanderbilt. That's in the second quarter. In the first quarter, Tennessee has taken a 7-0 lead over Colorado State. And in a game where Bino Cook picked Rutgers to win by 2, they're up by 3. 3-0 at the half. Coming up next, more scores from all over the country as we continue our USF&G halftime report on ESPN. Down in College Station, the Aggies on top of the Tigers, 7-3 to settle as they traveled up to Laramie this afternoon. Schnellenberger trying to build his Cardinals into a national power. First quarter, the power came from Carwell Gardner. He will take a Browning-Nagel pass and will break 3 tackles on this play. He'll also go 53 yards for the score, one of 2 touchdown catches on the day. Louisville 14-0, but Wyoming would eventually tie it at 21. In the fourth quarter, Nagel finds Dave Moyler down the sidelines for a touchdown. 35 yards, Nagel's 4th of the day. The Cardinals celebrate by winning 28-21. What a big win for Schnellenberger on the road today. Now we'll take you to Washington State. The Cougars on top, 38-7. That's in the 4th quarter of play. Montana State against the Jayhawks of Kansas, and Kansas wins big today, 41-17. Akron on the road at Virginia Tech, and the Hokies take care of Jerry Faust and his Zips, 29-3. Fordham Rams against the Colgate Red Raiders. The Rams playing their first game in Division I AA, and they paid the price, losing by 32. Villanova and Richmond. The Wildcats over the Spiders, 2017 this afternoon. Youngstown State and Maine, the Black Bears and the Penguins, and Maine wins it at home by a score of 28-14. Eastern Michigan in the Mid-American Conference handling Kent State at home, 30-7. Temple and Western Michigan, also of the MAC, 31-24 over the Owls. Cal State Northridge against Long Beach State, and the 49ers, easy winners today at home, 28-9. Eastern New Mexico and Montana, and the Grizzlies take it 41-15. SIU, the Salukis, and Nevada Reno, that other Wolfpack, and they won it today 41-3. Abilene Christian Wildcats and the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks. Northern Arizona in the 3rd at home, up by 27. Appalachian State winning big over Gardner-Webb, 43-7. A close one for East Tennessee State at VMI, 17-16. Georgia Southern, Irk Russell's team winning easily as they took Valdosta State 31-10. And it's the Bloomsburg Huskies against the James Madison Dukes. That one in the 2nd quarter. And James Madison now, they're in the 2nd. They updated to 14-3. Tuskegee Golden Tigers against the Florida A&M Rattlers. And the Rattlers are on top 6-0 in the 2nd quarter of play. Coming up in a moment, back with more. Bino Cook and Lee Corso join me with their F&G halftime report. Howard matching up against the District of Columbia today, and Howard gets the shutout, 40-zip. Morgan State 31-20 over Norfolk State this afternoon. It was North Carolina A&T over North Carolina Central, 24-6. Delaware State with a whitewash over Cheney, 41-zip. Drake 31, Simpson 22. And it was NC State ranked number 24 in the nation in a game you saw earlier this day on ESPN, beating Maryland by a score of 10-6. A defensive struggle. The fans were flying high in Raleigh. Late 2nd quarter, no score. And Shane Montgomery hits Chris Quarters with a 27-yard pass. The drive sets up this Damon Harton 45-yard field goal as the clock goes off in the 1st half. NC State leads it 3-0. 4th quarter, State up by 10. Ricky Johnson ends an 80-yard drive with this 1-yard touchdown, and it's a 10-6 ball game. But on the last play of the game, Neil O'Donnell looking for the end zone, no good, and NC State wins it by a score of 10-6 at home. Outstanding defense by Dick Sheridan's team today. One late score to update for you, a game in progress not far from there down in Columbia, South Carolina. The Gamecocks over the Blue Devils of Duke, 17-13. That one is in the 2nd quarter. Bino Cook and Lee Corso join me. And Lee, first of all, we'll talk about the upset down in Jacksonville, but what about the young man from Air Force today, Dee Dowis, with his Colorado State's head coach, majors at Tennessee. The Vols have it 7-3 in the 2nd quarter in that ball game as we update that progress. Coming up on Labor Day night, it'll be a tilt between Texas and Colorado at 7:30 Eastern Time. Mike Patrick and Gene Washington report to you from Boulder, Colorado. And then we stay out west for Thursday night action at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. It'll be Tim Brando and Vince Dooley as Washington State, leading at the moment, takes on BYU's Cougars out in Provo. That'll do it for our USF&G halftime report. For Bino Cook and Lee Corso, Bob Carpenter. Thanks for being with us. And now we take you back to College Station momentarily, where Ron Franklin and Kevin Kiley are standing by with the home team on top, 7-3 at the half. Gentlemen.
Thanks so much, Bob Carpenter. Welcome. And now it is down into the 90s as you see a breeze coming out of the south. And here are the
touchdown on the Tigers today.
So we open the 3rd period. It's Lane Talbot, a junior out of Beaumont, Texas, who will kick it off for Texas A&M, and Harvey Williams, who opened the ball game this afternoon, didn't play last year because of the knee surgery. And that is Wayne Williams to his right. But Harvey told his coaching staff, I want to help in every way I can, and my knee is 100%. This is going to be Harvey Williams at the 5. Near sideline, crosses the 30, and he's out to the 35-yard line. Possession chart on the 1st half. First of all for LSU. Well, we'll come back to that and show you the possessions in the first half. As the Tigers scrimmage from their own 36-yard line, again, it will be Hodgson in the ball game at quarterback with Harvey Williams and Jay Eglon behind him. Draw play. Harvey Williams will have 5 and then is racked hard by William Thomas, the junior out of Amarillo, Texas.
LSU did one thing different. They flexed their tight end out about 3 yards, tried to spread the A&M defense, and then pop Harvey Williams inside. It worked for about 3 yards.
See the back of big Roger Hutchinson, a sophomore out of Gonzales, Louisiana, 6'7", 296 pounds. Pitch to Harvey Williams. Gang tackled as he crosses the 40 to the 41, and Kevin Smith, the first man to come up, and we have a flag in the secondary. As some pushing continued after the play was over between Todd Kinchin and Mickey Washington.
Have a dead ball. Personal foul. Defensive secondary for the first down.
So put an asterisk by that one, as the A&M defense on the first couple of plays keeps LSU from picking up the first down, but a personal foul is whistled on the play, and the penalty will carry it across midfield, and LSU will scrimmage from the 44.5-yard line. At the 41 is Jason Black, the right defensive end for Texas A&M, makes the hit on him. Jason, a junior out of Decatur, Georgia, and his situation, Kevin, has been well documented this week, and he has played an extremely good ball game for all the talk that is going on.
Well, when you look at LSU having rushed for 22 yards in the first half, I would say Jason Black has played well, but it's clear that the Tigers are going to run at him.
Draw play. Harvey Williams hit in the backfield, spins off the tackle as Terry Price is the man who hit him first. And then it was Jason Black who finished him off. And it's going to be a third down LSU as they mark the ball at the 41-yard line.
Price is the cousin of Tracy Rocker. You may remember him from Auburn. Very quick, plays off the block of Hutchinson, and is able to get his hands on Harvey Williams. Now, Harvey Williams, he didn't have that good a shot at him. Harvey Williams, maybe the old Harvey Williams, could have battled through that tackle. The new Harvey Williams coming back from a knee didn't.
Harvey Williams, 9 carries for 10 yards so far. Blitz up the middle. Hodgson throwing. Has Lee. Can't hold on. Alvin Lee, the intended receiver. It was Kevin Smith on the cover, and the special teams will come on from across the way. LSU will have to kick.
This is not a very good play by Kevin Smith. He's going to lose sight of the ball. When Alvin looks back, Smith has to look back. See Alvin Lee go inside of him? Smith lost sight of the ball, didn't know where he was, and Alvin almost picked that thing off.
This is Griffin. He had 1 punt in the first half. Good for 43 yards. 7-3. A&M leading LSU, third period. High-hanging spiral. Washington runs away from it again. Bounces and dives at the 5-yard line, and just like a good 9-iron or pitching wedge, that's where it will go dead as Robbie Green touches it down for the Tigers. 36 yards in the kick, and it's just 3 times this afternoon. LSU's kicking game has nailed him inside the 10-yard line.
I'd say that was a pedigree pooch punt. Would you?
Definitely.
I think that is the story of the game right there. That and, of course, the return by Horton. That was 7 for 9, 104 yards. And a lot of that time has been spent backed up in his own goal line.
From the 5. Darren Lewis right side, will have 5 yards. You could see Dunbar on top, but it was Tony Houston, the junior out of Ruston, Louisiana, down at the bottom of the stand.
One of the things that works against LSU is they are not really a blitzing defense. They're a defense that will give you underneath plays, let you move down the field and hope that you make a mistake. Because of that, they're not putting a lot of pressure on Pavlis, and maybe other teams would do that.
Lewis, right side, has a couple. Oliver Lawrence, the senior out of Monroe, the outside linebacker on the left, is the man who grabs him to the ankle. And one of the things that you have to be so extremely impressed with is both defenses have really jumped up on the guys who can burn you so quickly in Lewis for A&M and in Williams for LSU, and just simply have not let them out of the box.
Well, especially LSU, they've done a remarkable job against a great back.
Lewis will be stopped shy of the first down. Ventress was the first man to come across, and you can see that fired-up Tiger defense as Darren Lewis unable to turn the corner, and the Aggies will have to kick it back.
53, Miguel Ventress, 6'1", 223, a freshman redshirt. Now this is picture-perfect linebacker play. Defeat the block, get off it, make the tackle. He slowed him down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yellow helmets in that picture. That's pursuit and speed.
Ellis's punt, lazy spiral. Young calls for the fair catch and makes it at his own 46-yard line. 42 yards in the kick, and the Tigers will take it over with good field position. Let's take a break. And by UPS, we deliver to every address in the United States and to 41 countries worldwide. Ron Franklin and Kevin Kiley on what is turning into a very nice evening if you started off at 100 degrees, and glad to have you along here at Kyle Field, College Station, Texas. 7-3, LSU trailing Texas A&M. Hodgson on the play fake, gets it away, and he overthrows Halliburton, who was just inside the 45, and he went down very hard under the rush of Terry Price.
That was tremendous coverage there by the secondary of Texas A&M, and then a good rush. Now, Terry Price doesn't get to Hodgson very often, but he got to him there just after he threw the ball. Hodgson threw that thing away, and it's a good thing he did because he was double covered.
You see Andy Martin, number 69, a sophomore out of DeRitter, is coming replacing Hutchinson at that right tackle spot. Running play, Fuller off the right side will be stopped at the 46. He will have a gain of maybe a half yard, but Jeroy Robinson, the senior out of Bryan, steps up into his way and makes the stop.
Now, even though the fullback to the left of your screen is offset, this is considered an I formation, and Texas A&M's defense will be reading the fullback. He will take him to the ball. See, as they stuff the fullback and the rest of the defense comes inside out, Jeroy Robinson makes the tackle. LSU very predictable, but also they execute extremely well.
Fumbles the snap. He'll carry it himself. Has 5 and now 7. Trent Lewis put the stopper on him, and it'll be 4th down LSU. They needed the 44. So these defenses continue to impress. R.C. Slocum and his coaching staff applauding in the near sideline. As Griffith comes in to kick, he nailed it at the 5-yard line just a moment ago. Single back, signals for a fair catch, runs away, and this one is going to die. LSU will put it to rest inside the 5-yard line, and that young man, Griffith, deserves a star in his crown on this evening. Well, as we come to the end of the 80s, some of the coaching changes at the end of the era. Bear Bryant, Vince Dooley, of course, who we're very glad to have with us here at ESPN, John Robinson, Barry Switzer, Jimmy Johnson, Jackie Sherrill here at Texas A&M.
All happening last year within a few months of each other. And of course, Bob Waters. Who can forget Bob Waters and his courageous fight?
Pavlis with play action from his own end zone. Going to go long, and the pass got away from him, tipped away and incomplete at the 45. It was Corey Raymond who was defending, and actually Percy Waddle had to play defensive back because it looked as though the ball got away from him when he gripped it to make the throw.
That was a poorly thrown ball, but it was thrown close enough to the sideline that the sideline acted like a defender and helped him out there. Here's what Pavlis has done. 0 to 10 yards, 4, 11 to 22. He has only completed one pass, that to the tight end Jones, of over 20 yards. That's play calling, keeping it simple for the youngster.
Wilson breaks it out over the 25, breaks another tackle. He's still on his feet to the 48-yard line. 44 yards as Tony Houston saved a touchdown for LSU. Kevin, you don't expect a back who weighs 245 to run with this kind of quickness.
Freshman redshirt 58, Juan Sendoya takes a false step inside, and Wilson is a load, 240 pounds. Watch 58. See him came up on the wrong side of the block and got hooked, and now Wilson loosened the secondary.
Darren Lewis straight ahead as A&M takes it across midfield. Osbury comes up to make the hit for LSU. It's going to be a gain of about 5 on the play.
Let me tell you, here's Wilson on the sideline in the heat running that forward. Let me tell you something about that incomplete pass 2 plays ago. They stretched the defense with it. They showed they were willing to throw out of their end zone. Maybe loosened up the LSU defense, gave them something to think about, and then ran that quick pop with the fullback, and it worked.
James Marcus in at fullback for Texas A&M. Darren Lewis, right side, inside the 40. He'll have a first down. Faubacher coming over to make the hit. Groot and McCall with fine blocks on the right side.
10 games in a row, Lewis has run for 100 yards. So far, 12 for 36. McCall and Groot on the right side weigh well over 340 pounds, 640 pounds together.
Darren Lewis, right up the middle, tries to bounce off one tackler, Oliver Lawrence. The senior out of Monroe, 6'2", 242, is there to make the tackle. As Wilson had checked back into the ballgame, they gave him a blow for one play, and he came back in for blocking purposes. You can see the good camaraderie between two ball clubs that are really going after it tooth and nail. Good to see that as Lawrence came up patting Lewis on the headgear. Just past the midway point, third quarter. Pavlis on the reverse out, wanted the screen, and he is going to be sacked at the 50-yard line by Clint James. Loss of 16 on the play.
Clint James next to Dunbar, maybe one of the better tackles or the best tackle in the country. Very, very quick, not really known as a pass rusher. Look how he corrals Pavlis. Pavlis just couldn't get away from him. At least Lance didn't throw the ball, but he maybe could have made a better decision and stepped up into the pocket. Nice play by Clint James and a tremendous athletic ability to keep him off balance and make that sack.
A&M was looking for the throwback screen to Darren Lewis. Pavlis stays behind the line of scrimmage, now delivers the ball, has a man open, incomplete, and a marker goes down. And you're going to see on the play that Garrett came back up for the ball and actually is the one who caused the interference.
Well, they're going to call us on Corey Raymond, and there's no way. Corey Raymond was going for the ball. You're absolutely right. And this flag should never have been thrown. I would hope they would pick it up. This ball is a free ball.
Defensive pass.
No way.
There. 15 yards from the previous
No
spot.
way. This ball is a floater, and Corey Raymond is actually backing up, and he has every right to that ball. That ball is free. Terrible call. Look at this. See, that's a jump ball. Now, there is contact, but this is incidental contact. Look at Raymond, just trying to get the ball, both trying to get the ball. That's a no call. Big play in this game.
Garrett was about 6 or 7 yards down the field and then came back to the ball. It was a smart play on his part. The penalty will move it to the 35. Darren Lewis fumbles the ball. Ball was dead, the officials say, at the 28-yard line. Oliver Lawrence had come up with the football and still has it. LSU wanting the recovery, and the officials say no.
We're going to see the end of this play. The ball is loose before it hits the ground. That's a free ball, too.
Wilson hit at the line of scrimmage, fights his way forward for one, and Carl Dunbar wraps him up. It's going to be 3rd down, Texas A&M. They need the 25 for the first down.
In case you're wondering out there, this is a Southeast Conference officiating crew. Jimmy Harper, remember, this is not a Southwest Conference crew, but a Southeastern Conference. Of course, LSU is a member, co-champion of the Southeast Conference.
Keith McAfee checks into the ball game at tailback, the sophomore out of Sugar Land, Texas.
Hey, look out for the tight end here.
McAfee, left tackle, first down, Aggies. You could see Boutte on the ground. In fact, he is still down. Lunging, trying to make the tackle, got caught by the offensive line. And Mark is still down. Play of the drive. Wilson to the right side will be knocked down after a short gain. Tony Houston, one of the first men coming up, along with Oliver Lawrence, Doling on the tackle, and they're going to give him forward progress to the 21-yard line.
One of the trademarks of a Pete Jenkins coach defense, he's the LSU coordinator, defensive coordinator, is they're pretty conservative middle of the field, but when you back them up around the 20, they will come after you. Let's see what happens here.
McAfee turns the corner inside the 15, and he's knocked down at the 13.
And there's going to be a holding call on A&M.
Offensive holding, Texas A&M, as Corey Raymond knocked him out of bounds. R.C. Slocum.
Great penetration there on the right side, Ron, by the LSU Tiger defense, and they were forced to hold to make this play work.
During the run, holding on the offensive line.
Kept the Texas Aggies had gone to a 2 tight end alignment, bringing in Brian Ross. McAfee will come out. Darren Lewis will check back into the ball game. Bob Toledo, the offensive coordinator, coming to College Station.
The biggest play of the game for Lance Pavlis, maybe the biggest play of his career. With the game on the line, I think they'll keep it simple. Something short, running back or tight end here, or a draw.
Pitches it back to Lewis. He's left-handed. He's going to throw to his tight end, and he has Jones. He will score. That the first touchdown pass of the 1989 season for Texas A&M is thrown by running back Darren Lewis to his tight end Mike Jones. Extra point by Talbot is good. Toledo, who came to A&M from Oregon.
He's protected his quarterback all day, and here with the biggest play of the game on the line, Darren Lewis, the Jones, the tight end, still protecting the quarterback and scoring along the way, 14-3. And how about the pass by Darren Lewis, the left-handed running back who ran for 1,600 plus last year. LSU completely fooled Fabershire just a little bit late, and the Aggies are rolling.
Faubacher coming over at the last minute, reacting when he saw Darren Lewis pull up to throw the ball, but it was just one count too late. 12-man kickoff team on the field. Reverses his field. It is Corey Raymond, and he will bring it out in the vicinity of the 35-yard line. And we have 1-2 markers down on the field.
That'll be a clip, Ron. Anytime a guy does that, there's no way for the blocker to set up.
Incidental face mask, 5 yards from the end of the run, kicking team, first down.
Scoring drive, 11 plays, 95 yards, using up 5 minutes, 21 seconds. And the touchdown pass to Jones from Lewis for 31 yards. With the quick out pass, it's Moss at the 40, 45, and he'll be ridden out of bounds, and a marker goes down on a late hit. Mickey Washington took him out of bounds, and then another Texas Aggie, and I believe it was Horton, number 39, who came in after he was out of bounds, and that will cost the Aggies 15 yards.
This game is far from over. Moss, far from over. Moss, that was his 7th reception of the game. That ties his career high set against Miami last year.
Dead ball, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, the first down White.
Here's a look at it. You're going to see Horton come along. This is okay, but this isn't. Horton, the converted running back, probably has memories of people doing that to him, so he figured he'd even the score.
Against this offense, Texas A&M cannot afford to get loose or cocky. Just like that, LSU at the 36. Hodgson rolls the pocket, throws it complete. Harvey Williams at the 30-yard line. Price and Snow were in the vicinity, but he just went down making the catch. Some other scores around the country today. Rice and SMU and the Ponies have jumped on top of the ball game. They were huge underdogs as they come back from the death penalty. Mississippi State leading Vanderbilt by 7. Tennessee by 1 over Colorado State at halftime. South Carolina by 7 in the third period over Duke. Our score, A&M 14, LSU 3. Harvey Williams bounces off a tackler, turns the corner, and they will push him out of bounds just outside the 26. Kevin Smith from his safety position came over, but that will be enough for the LSU first down.
That was vintage Harvey Williams. A nice job bouncing outside. There was no running room inside. I'm sure Harvey's remembering right now that he picked this game 35-6. LSU.
Harvey out of Hempstead, Texas, which is not too far down the road from College Station. Williams again breaks it for 5, counted out to 10. William Thomas makes the tackle, and he's very close to the first down. Kubiks with a great block at the right guard spot.
This is a trap play and a big hole for Williams as he comes from behind the right of your screen, 22. Now watch Kubiks as he opens the hole. 79 here, just blows out the defender. And that was Jeroy Robinson, a linebacker, trying to fill the hole, and Harvey knows where to run.
Well, I said 10. It's going to be 9 3/4 or 7/8, just a few inches away. What's that old rule that they teach? If you're a down lineman or a linebacker, if you come free with the play going all around you, grab for your ankles because something's going to come in a hurry.
The worst down if you're playing defense in football is second and short, and the last place you ever want to be.
Harvey Williams has the first down, and he'll take it for 3 more. John Cooper defensively for Texas A&M. And as you can see, the clock stopped momentarily. Just under 2 minutes to play. LSU will have the win in the 4th period. The second and short. You got one to play with, don't you?
Well, remember they called back. Yeah, that's a tough down. Remember that Halliburton scored from the tight end position earlier. They called it back, and Moss is a big threat here.
Harvey Williams, right side, tripped up on the line of scrimmage, and I'm not so sure William Thomas helped finish him off. But it was Egloff who was trying to block, and I think he also tripped over his feet.
Well, one thing about the I formation is if you don't get movement, there's a whole lot of people at the point of attack. Your fullback has got to create a hole, and there needs to be room for the tailback. And against the goal line defense, it's tough. They may be setting something up here.
Tony Moss back in the ball game. Kenshin also in the game, split left. Blitz from every direction. Pass thrown incomplete, and a marker was down at the 10-yard line. William Thomas came across the line of scrimmage, then went back. At the 25-second clock, it was very close to 0-0.
No penalty. No penalty.
Inadvertent flag.
It's loud in here, folks. LSU having a real problem. See Williams, the tight end, looking in there, trying to get the snap count. It is loud. And getting louder.
Lots of time over the middle, has it complete. Willie Williams for the touchdown. And the Tiger faithful who have journeyed over from Baton Rouge are up and cheering. And here's the isolation on Willie Williams, the senior out of Houston.
That's a brilliant pattern. They dragged Moss to the right of your screen and cleared it out. Williams just backed into the end zone, and the veteran quarterback Hudson hit him. That was a remarkable drive for LSU, going down 14-3 and then pounding it in.
Browndyke with the extra point attempt. Has it good, and his string continues. 81 straight. And what a ball game we've got here at College Station. With 23 seconds left in the 3rd period, it is back to a 4-point game. 14-10 with Texas A&M on top, and there's the man, Tommy Hudson.
And here's the guy you didn't see in the play, number 6, Tony Moss, to the right of your screen. Watch the pattern. In motion, he's going to bring people with him. There he goes. See, they're very concerned with him, but Williams on a delay backed into the end zone. And here's how, look at Hudson. He's looking at Moss. but no, there's a man there. He'll go back to Williams to the left, who falls into the end zone. That's just a veteran quarterback finding receivers. Nice job.
It's obvious that Williams not the primary. And what also is interesting is what both offensive coordinators have done with the attention being paid to the wideouts, that they have utilized their tight ends so well in the ballgame today.
And let's not forget something. Harvey Williams was in the middle of that drive, that big trap play, a nice run off the I formation when he bounced outside. Harvey Williams, who made the prediction, we've been on him about it, he was in the middle of that drive and was a big part of it.
ESPN's presentation of college football continues on Monday with a special edition. It's the Texas Longhorns against the 14th ranked Buffaloes of Colorado. Be sure and join Mike Patrick and Gene Washington. They'll have the action from up in the Rockies beginning at 7:30 Eastern Time.
Let's wish the best to both teams, and also Bill McCartney and Salinesi, who's ill for Colorado.
Suarez with the kickoff. This is going to come down to Patterson at the 1. Mike Archer, was that last drive a part of the new attitude you talked about off the top of the telecast today?
Well, Mike wanted this team to be more consistent. They certainly have been defensively, if not offensively, but it's easy to be consistent defensively. Just got to be mean and ugly and run fast and hit people. And Mike, kind of a Jekyll and Hyde this year. He was Dr. Jekyll last year. He was 8-4. He's going to try Mr. Hyde. He's going to be tougher.
A&M from their own 25. Wilson loses the football. They say he is down after a gain of 6. Robert Wilson, the big fullback, only a sophomore. He's out of Houston. 6'1", 200. They list him at 240. Another list 245. Who cares if you got to tackle him? And that is the end of the 4th period. 14-10, Texas A&M leading LSU. In what has been some kind of opener. We had a great one this afternoon between North Carolina State and Maryland. And now this one not leaving anybody disappointed. McAfee to the left side. Not only has the first down, still driving out to the 43. And Faubacher on the stop. And let's go back to Bristol, and here's Bob Carpenter.
Thank you, Ron Franklin. Up in Dallas, it is Rice against SMU. And on 4th and 5, quarterback Donald Hollis of the Owls takes off on a 34-yard run for a touchdown. It's 7-3. SMU had kicked off, recovered a fumble, and kicked a field goal, but now they trail. And we go deeper into the heart of Texas. Back to Ron Franklin.
So the Rice Owls going in front of that one, trying to break the longest losing streak in the nation. McAfee. Left side behind the blocking of Mike Pappas and Richard Webb. David Walkup, a redshirt freshman out of the Woodlands, Texas, comes over to make the tackle for the LSU Tigers. LSU with 23 scholarship players out of the state of Texas. Walkup just one of those.
Well, what they're running now, that the last 2 formations were called their King formation. 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. And what you're going to see now is the Texas A&M running game. 297-pound line and some pretty good runners. This is another running formation.
Wilson breaks it. 5, 10, counted off at 13. Tony Houston finally wraps him up, and they're going to say a gain of 14 yards on the play by Wilson.
Gain of 13 yards on the play. Ball at the LSU 38.
Storyline here at College Station so far. Horton opened it up. The opening kickoff, 92 yards. Then Lewis, a 31-yard pass to Jones. Griffin for LSU, 3 punts inside the 10-yard line. Pitch comes to McAfee. Puts the head down, loses the football, then gathers it up at the 36 as Verge Osbury, the senior out of New Iberia, comes up quickly to wrap him up.
Okay, if you're playing defense for LSU, you got to buckle down that strap and you have to be tough, and that's what Mike Archer wanted out of these guys. Now, you also have to remember the wind is against the young quarterback, and they have a 300-pound line, and they will be predictable. You have to play run all the way.
Lewis just inside the 35. Carl Dunbar.
63, Carl Dunbar.
The first man in white to come over and make the hit as Mike Archer studies from the sideline.
Again, Carl Dunbar, one of the finest tackles ever to play at LSU, number 74. 63, excuse me. Number 63, making the play again. Very quick and strong, and he's a number 1 pick.
You could see Darren Groot blocking in the play as a senior, 6'5", 330 pounds. Lewis, head down inside the 30. Ventress defensively for the stop. I beg your pardon, it's Wilson rather than Lewis.
Okay, remember what I said, run all the way. You have to play run all the way.
They have spotted it just inside the 30-yard line. It is 4th down, and Texas A&M needs just over a yard and a half.
And you're looking at right there, number 20. If they would have run an offensive play, it looks like they're going to field goal, but Wilson would have been the guy to take you to the ball. But it looks like they're going to go for a kick against the wind. And every successful play has been a trick play today, Ron.
47-yard attempt by Talbot. Is it long enough? It is no good. Off to the left. The 47-yard attempt by Talbot, a little short and off to the left. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. The pitch goes to Fuller. He is going to be hit and knocked down for a loss, and Kevin Smith clean off the block with a picture-perfect defensive move.
The fullback will take you to the ball. Egloff went in motion, went that way, and they pitched it that way. And A&M with that great speed, even if they get blocked a little bit, they're able to run the ball down. Fuller a little bit slower than Williams, quite a bit slower, actually.
Loss of a couple. 2nd down. The Tigers need the 40. Wallace on the blitz, drills the pass, has it complete across the 35 to the 37. Fuller out of the backfield. That will put Hodson close to 100 yards. Only 4 times has he been below that.
Aaron Wallace has 1 sack today. Why? Jay Egloff. 1 man on Wallace, able to stop him and turn him away, and that gives Hodson the time to throw the ball in there to Fuller.
Having a lot of trouble hearing. Has it to Lee for the 1st down. Alvin Lee, the 5'10 senior out of Beaumont, Texas. Kevin Smith was there on the cover, but he catches it for the 1st down. And the Tigers will move the chains as we are just over 10 minutes to play in this one. Texas A&M 14 and the LSU Tigers number 7, preseason ranked 10. Hodson now 100 yards even, 13 of 19 on the night. Fuller dances his way and is chopped down as Trent Lewis comes from nowhere. Kevin, for a redshirt freshman, Trent Lewis has conducted himself as an upperclassman.
Class is the key word, I think, there. They said he was a prototype middle linebacker, and I haven't seen anything tonight to discourage me. The noise here is getting very, very bad, and you may wonder, Hodson does have an option to step out. We'll talk about that rule in just a second.
You could see the Rice Owls now extending their lead over SMU. Tennessee continuing to have problems with Colorado State. Mickey Washington on the blitz, pass thrown incomplete, looking for Fuller. And it was Washington, number 1, coming from his corner position to apply the pressure.
But it's Wallace that will occupy the people. Now this is an interesting play. Wallace to the right of your screen is going to go wide. And Washington, because Egloff has to pick up Wallace, comes inside and forces Hodson. Hodson made just a tremendous play on this because he's caught. And the second guy shouldn't hit him. They're going to call roughing the passer, but Hodson to get that ball off. If he doesn't get that ball off, it's not roughing the passer.
So the chains are moved for LSU. It is now in Aggie territory at the 40-yard line with the 15 yards being stepped off. And LSU, to take a look at the penalty, 86 yards against A&M, LSU 3 for 30. The Tigers need the 30. I don't see how Hodgson can hear anything.
Out. And then there's a PA announcement. None of these things have happened. A loss of a timeout if the referee decides for a 5-yard penalty. When the timeouts are exhausted, there'll be a 5-yard penalty for each additional infraction. Because of the crowd noise here, if they begin this process, it's almost certain that it will continue.
The 5-yard penalty stepped off against Texas A&M. So it is now 2nd down and 4 LSU. And the Aggies with 20 yards in penalties in the last 3 plays. Moss loses the football. That's Wallace after him. Halliburton tries to pick it up. They still scramble, and I believe Moss came up with the football. 10 3 times against Texas A&M. Mickey Washington, the deep back for the Aggies. And this one is going to go out of bounds at the 2-yard line. 44 yards in the kick, and the man is unconscious.
Hey, Griffith just made All-American.
Let's take a look at the quarterback comparisons. Tom Hodgson, 13 of 20, 103 yards. Lance Pavlis, 7 of 10, 104.
It's what Pavlis hasn't done, the last 0 to the right. No interceptions, and really has played a solid game. I believe the first pass he ever threw in a varsity game was tipped and run in by Ron Sancho of LSU for a touchdown.
Straight ahead with a handoff, Darren Lewis puts the distance.
Year-old tackles on that team.
Great feature on him this morning on ESPN. Straight ahead. It is Wilson taking tacklers with him up to near the 34-yard line. And right now, the Aggie running game is just like a big heavyweight, and the jab just keeps coming in there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Remember, this was an option team that ran, that had an offense for over 400 yards a game last year, 258 of them on the ground. Now, they're kind of a multi-purpose offense these days, but the core of that option offense is still there, the offensive line.
Wilson now for 87 yards in the game. Gets it again. Goes left side. Across the 40. Out to the 41. And the chain. Take a look at the yards rushing. Pavlis misses the handoff. It's going to take it for plus yardage. When things go right, they go right. That could have been disastrous. Rather than missing connection of the handoff and causing a fumble, the youngster was able to hold on. Osbury brought him down at the 44. You think that maybe Bob Toledo's heart jumped up in his throat when he saw that on the sideline? Lewis spinning his way, trying to get past Jones, who could not get his block on Lawrence. And it's going to be a 3rd down situation for Texas A&M, and they need the LSU 49 to keep this drive going. 14-10, Aggies on top. We're about to hit 4.5 minutes left in the ball game, and the fans, well, right now they're not concerned as Harvey Williams puts on the headgear.
And look out for Harvey's not in here. Okay, what's been working? The tight end, the draw play. Don't let this quarterback have to throw it downfield too far. Keep it simple.
Fumbled the snap, and Pavlis falls on it at the 43. So Texas A&M never got a chance to get the play away. And the punting unit will come on. Kev, I couldn't tell if he came out too quickly and missed the exchange from Mike Arthur or exactly what. But he didn't try to pick it up. He went down on the football to make the recovery as Ellis will come in to punt. 5 kicks, 38-yard average. This is Kenshin at the 25. Great coverage by the A&M special teams is Jeff Shank, and we hope you've been with us throughout today. It has been wonderful with the opening show today, and now with the doubleheader. 14-10. A&M leads, 3:26 left to play. Hodgson can't get it away as William Thomas, number 11, comes across, and this place is going absolutely berserk.
This is an automatic call, as you're going to see it on the left, about the center of your screen. It's an automatic call when they go in motion. It's a strong set right for LSU. Right here, automatic blitz for A&M, because they know they have no one to protect. Everybody's trying to get out in the pattern. That's just a great call and a great play by Thomas, coming in and getting Hodgson.
3 hurries on Hodgson for the night for the Aggie defense. Hodgson is going to be sacked. Aaron Wallace. And the Aggies have recovered the football. Against the Aggies, the first thing you have to do is stop number 23. They didn't get it done. You saw exactly why he's so effective. He ran completely around the block, and that was the result. The tackle never even touched him. That was number 74, Robert Packnett, and he never had a chance. Jeroy Robinson records the recovery of the fumble, and A&M has 3:14 to run off the clock. McAfee goes right side. He will be stopped at the line of scrimmage. We'll give you a number that sounds, as R.C. Slocum said yesterday, like you're really talking some coffee cup stuff. But Aaron Wallace was timed 6 times by the pros in the 40. Not one time did he run under a 4, or did he run over a 4.5, and he's 6'4", 238 pounds. It seems unbelievable, but he has done it. Tick is good enough. 16 years of assistant coach at this school. He's got just over 3 minutes to get off the clock, though, against a ball club that is never say die. But right here, inside the 5, and touchdown Wilson. That will do it. Group and McCall with huge blocks on the right side. Texas A&M up by 11 points over preseason 7th-ranked LSU.
I don't know that people realize how much this team has overcome with what happened last year, but the play calling here has been remarkable, and the blocking. Look at McCall and Group just wipe it out. 245-pound Wilson going in, and Lance Pavlis has played as well as a young quarterback could be expected to play. Kudos to Bob Toledo, who's done a great job tonight with the Texas A&M offense. Remember, this team had not scored 2 years against LSU. Bob Toledo called these plays. He's from Oregon. He's the new offensive coordinator. There he is, right there. And if you ask me, without him on this staff, it may have been a different story tonight. Absolutely brilliant job. They beat a great football team tonight. This is a great football team, LSU.
One of the things that Pete Jenkins said coming into the ballgame is that they had looked for video of Bob Toledo throughout his career to see what his tendencies were. And he said that they were overloading their defense as far as what they had to put in for the ballgame, far more than he would ever like to, but they had to do it to be ready. From the 20, Corey Raymond will take it out across the 35-yard line. And the 12-man special team on the return, number 17, is Trent Childress, who gets downfield to make the tackle. Coming up next, College Football Scoreboard Show immediately following our ball game here from College Station. Pressure again. It is intercepted. Walking in is Kevin Smith for the touchdown. Sophomore out of Orange, Texas, made the interception, and credit number 23, Aaron Wallace, again with the pressure of the quarterback. And Tom Hodson threw the ball before he wanted to, which allowed Smith to cut in front. And the Texas Aggies, as a discussion goes on down in the field, have blown this one open. They're being penalized because of the celebration, which of course will have no effect on the touchdown. It will come on the ensuing kickoff. The last time A&M returned an interception for a touchdown, it was Gary Jones in 1987 against TCU. That game up in Fort Worth. Extra point is good. And with 2 minutes, 43 seconds showing on the clock here at College Station, it is A&M 28 and LSU 10.
Well, the one thing you don't want to have happen is for Aaron Wallace to get loose, number 23. And he's loose. He gets to Hodson, and now it's a floater. And Kevin Smith is going to run under this thing. The one thing R.C. Slocum promised was that his kids were going to have fun and they would play with more emotion. Remember Whitney Houston? A moment in time. He sang it before the game, and the last line is, "It's all up to you."
Wallace standing with hands high above his head. The sights and sounds of College Station, Texas. Williams on the return. And on the 12th man return team, it is McCoy who is downfield to make the stop. And of course here at Texas A&M, this is the reason they are excited. This ends the streak as LSU has haunted A&M. 3 straight wins in football, and of course the very disappointing loss to an Aggie baseball team that had been ranked number 1. And in track, they were 1 and 2. Women's volleyball, this was just past Thursday night. But right now, as they are arm in arm at College Station, the 28-10 tells an even bigger story. Hodson deep over the middle, in and out of the hands of Halliburton, the tight end. And the core out of the stands and down to the edge of the field as Reveille looks on. And possibly a future Texas Aggie. Two and a half minutes left to play. Hodson drills it, has it complete. Todd Kinchin makes the reception up at the 39-yard line. 20 to Derek Ritchie, the senior out of Dallas, Texas, there immediately to make the hit. And LSU without the tackles. Hodson without the huddle, I should say, as Hodson looks to the far sideline to get a quick signal. Hodson again looking for Kinchin, incomplete. That'll stop the clock with 2 minutes and 13 seconds remaining. The numbers that we have on Hodson in the first half, Kevin, 8 of 12, 64 yards. In the second half, 5 of 12 with 1 interception for 39 yards.
Never got the running game going. I hope people don't judge Tom Hodson by this game. He's never passed for a high percentage against Texas A&M because of the pressure. But his running game never got off the ground, and no quarterback can play well without a running game.
Hodson has a complete to Lee across the 50 down to the 45-yard line. Good for 16 yards in the play. And again, it's Derek Ritchie defensively. Hodson near sideline, throws it complete. Again, it's Alvin Lee. So that'll stop it with 1 minute and 56 seconds. The 6th-ranked team, Florida State, was defeated today, and now the 7th-ranked team in the preseason, Mike Archer's LSU Tigers, about to become victim also. Kevin Kiley, is this an indication of what we could expect in 1989?
Well, in 2 weeks, LSU plays Florida State, and we have that game, and I believe you'll see 2 of the better teams in the country go at it in that game. A very, very fine team.
Hodson juggles the snap, gets his pass away, long downfield. Kinchin just out of bounds, incomplete. Ritchie on the cover again.
I really find it significant that Hodson is now trying to get the ball to Kinchin. Kinchin is a player that was injured last year, had a bad knee, and they think he's a magician at LSU. He's absolutely a superior athlete, a tremendous competitor, and they expect great things from him. He's completely healed from the knee, and they're working him out here at the end of the game. There he is, Todd Kinchin. They say he's unbelievable when he gets rolling.
Ed Zonbrecker said that the only thing he suffers from is his time away from the game. And he needs a little bit more precision on his routes. Flags down, and I think it was Wyndham who was trying to reset on the left side, was not completely still as the ball was snapped.
Dead ball. Delay a game.
25-second clock had run out. Second down at 15. Hodson near sideline, incomplete, looking for Lee, and a marker will go down as pass interference will be called. Derek Ritchie came up and put his arms around him as he was trying to make the reception.
I'm not sure that this either is pass interference. I don't know that this ball could have been caught or that it wasn't by him. He was backing up. I would give him pass interference at this point, but to me that's a questionable call.
Well, Kevin, for LSU, they get a week off and then take on Florida State, and as you said, 2 weeks from tonight we'll have that ball game right here on ESPN. Now, what do you think that Don James and the Washington Huskies are thinking watching this ball game up in the Great Northwest tonight? Because a week from today, Texas A&M will travel up to Seattle to take on the Huskies.
If I'm on the defensive line for the Huskies, I'm going to eat my Wheaties, a lot of them.
All-out blitz. Pass over the middle, incomplete. It's Kinchin, the intended receiver, Well, some new coaches started out this season. Along with that gentleman, Goff, Gibbs, Erickson, and Slocum. Gibbs got a win today. Slocum is about to get his first win. And, of course, Goff and Erickson start next week.
I'd hate to be Dennis Erickson. Dennis Erickson's got the toughest job in the world. That's a team that loses practically never.
Washington on the blitz. Hodgson's pass overthrown. Coming up at the end of our game, it's college football scoreboard. Bob Carpenter, Vito Cook, and Lee Corso standing by, and they will wrap up the first weekend of the 1989 college football season. As the clock shows 1:33 to play in this one, Texas A&M about to record their first win for R.C. Slocum as they lead it 28-10.
I think we should say something about defensive coordinator Bob Navy of A&M, who took over for R.C. Did a remarkable job tonight.
He really has. Hodgson looking for the near sideline. Kinchin again, the intended receiver. Boy, Derek Ritchie and Kinchin have been having quite a workout on the near sideline. There's Bob Navy just to the left of R.C. Slocum.
I asked him what he learned from R.C. He said he learned how to be a better person. Not to panic.
That's right.
Not to panic. And he didn't.
You know, since the touchdown pass to Willie Williams, Hodgson is now 2 of 10 with 1 interception for 12 yards. Timeout has been called by Texas A&M on this 4th down play. Well, tonight's Visa players of the game are from LSU, Tony Moss. And from Texas A&M, Robert Wilson. As part of this 4th down. That's Halliburton over the middle, and he will score. Up the near sideline as Halliburton came out of the left side of the formation for the touchdown for the LSU Tigers.
This is that same play we diagrammed for you a little earlier. It's a strong set to the left of your screen. It's an automatic blitz. See the corner, Washington? Well, that's his responsibility. It's automatic. He goes, they flip it to the tight end. Halliburton runs it in. It was there all night. LSU saved it.
Mickey Washington, who vacated that position on that side of the field. And I guess the only thing he could say right there is, we'll give you this one. Two-point try. Sack, guess by who? Aaron Wallace. Good heavens. You start looking around and wondering if they had more than one number 23 in the roster.
Well, it was, again, that was Packnet. Packnet, there was no way, Ron. I mean, he's just not capable of stopping this guy. He is the fastest linebacker ever to play here, and consider that. Johnny Holland and some of these guys right side of your screen just beat. He ran around him. You're looking at a track meet here. This is not football.
That also was number 88, Terry Price, the senior out of Plano, after Wallace had made the sack, but Price was in the vicinity. So 28-16 on the missed 2-point conversion by LSU. And we still have 1:21. Well, those are the times we talked about that the NFL scouts took.
Those are wide receiver times. And those are quick wide. Steve Largent of Seattle, forget it. He couldn't come close to that. That's flat-out speed. What Wallace needs to work on is the run. He has to be able to play the run and be able to play a little tough inside to be a complete linebacker. And he comes up a little bit short there, but he has his entire senior season, and he's a guy that's been hitting the weights and working out a little harder and gained a lot of weight. wonder if we asked him how good Aaron Wallace is, what he would say.
I'm sure Tommy would give credit where credit is due. And he saw a lot of number 23 tonight.
Better said he didn't see any of them. He hit him in the back about 8 times.
They looked at him after he got up, though. Long and hard. The onside kick attempt, the high bounce, is going to be tipped in the air, still scrambling for it inside the 50-yard line. And Texas A&M has recovered the ball.
Oh, that was a heck of an onside kick.
ESPN's College Football Saturday continues next week with another strong lineup. At 11:30 a.m., it's College Game Day. The most entertaining and comprehensive show in college football. Then at 12:30, it's Fred Akers' Purdue Boilermakers hosting the Miami of Ohio Redskins. Then at 7:30, 12th-ranked Clemson travels to Tallahassee to take on the Florida State Seminoles. Victor Jones in the ball game on the carry. Clemson won their ball game today 30-0. They defeated 1AA champion Furman.
One of the great guys in college football right there, Mike Archer.
2 years ago, right here in this stadium, it was Mike Archer who came away with his first collegiate victory as a head coach. Tonight, the man across the field from him, R.C. Slocum, will accept this one very proudly. James Marcus again. And the crowd now knowing that if the clock up, they're going to have to run one more play, it would appear. There they whistle in the 25 in the game clock, so they have to run one more. Randy Simmons has checked into the ball game out of McKinney, Texas. A sophomore, one of the most sought-after running backs in the state of Texas in a long time. Simmons gets the carry, goes for 4 or 5, and listen to the crowd. R.C. Slocum and the Texas Aggies, as he gets a hug from his assistant coaches, have just upset the number 7 ranked team in the nation, the LSU Tigers, 28-16. Kevin Kiley, final comment from you.
Well, it's a tough night for me because these two programs really treat us well. They're great people. Mike Archer and his staff, whenever we come to Baton Rouge, they're fantastic people. And A&M is one of the great places to do a college football game in the country. And when they begin, you have trouble even thinking one of these teams is going to lose. R.C.'s a great guy. Congratulations. And I know Mike Archer and the LSU Tigers will be back. They were just outplayed tonight by a very emotional and well-prepared A&M team.
Well, 1 week from tonight, we will take a look at Clemson and Florida State. 2 weeks tonight, we'll see the Tigers again. That game against Florida State. 28-16, the Aggies win it. And now we take you back to Bristol, Connecticut. And here is Bob Carpenter. Bobby.
All right, Ron, thank you very much. Me and my RC is what Kevin Kiley called it earlier this evening. What a tremendous debut for the new head coach of the Aggies with an emotional win over a great football team in their own stadium. That'll get the folks excited again about college football down in College Station. We welcome you to our college football scoreboard, and coming up we have an upset of the day, but there are some other stories taking place as well. One of them is taking place right now in Dallas, where the Ponies of SMU have returned to college football. The Rice Owls favored to win a game for the first time in 10 years, believe it or not, and Ownby Stadium was rocking, especially on the opening kickoff. Trevor Cobb receives it, but SMU with a big hit. Stuart Eisen causes the fumble, and Kerry Brabham recovers for the Ponies, who go on to get a field goal and take the lead. Still in the first quarter, on 4th and 5, Rice quarterback Donald Hallis keeps and goes all the way for a 34-yard touchdown run, and they lead it 7-3. Later in the first quarter, Hallis again on the keeper for an 11-yard touchdown run. Rice led it at that point 14-3, and they're starting to pile it on a bit, leading 28-3. They're not even to halftime yet in Dallas. The big upset of the day took place in the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville. Florida State playing on so-called neutral ground. Southern Mississippi didn't play this one in Hattiesburg as scheduled. They went down to Florida and played it, and what a ball game it was for Curly Hallman's team as he looked across at Bobby Bowden. Fourth quarter, 27 seconds left, and Southern Miss down by a couple. It's Brett Faber, a play action to Anthony Harris for a 2-yard score and a 4-point lead. 16 seconds left, a little razzle-dazzle from the Seminoles, but Peter Tom Willis, Casey Weldon, and Charlie Ward will not be able to get it done. As the ball bounces, it goes deep, incomplete, and it's a 30-26 win for Southern Mississippi in the upset of the day. Number 6 Florida State Falls, and Curly Hallman felt great about the result on the road on day one.
Most exciting group of kids. It's not the most talented group I've ever been around. It's the most exciting, hard-working group of young men I've ever been associated with.
I'll tell you where the game was won. At the last, we had a 2-point lead. They throw a pass out in the flat. We go for the interception and come that close to getting it. And then when you don't get the interception, he tips the ball away, which is a great play. But it falls into their hand, and they go in and score. That was the play. If they hadn't got that ball, then our ball going the other way. It was that close, and we lost it.
That's the difference between winning and losing down in Jacksonville today. In a ball game you just witnessed here on ESPN, Texas A&M doing very well at home tonight, and a big win over number 7 LSU. I guess you would consider an upset. Aggies had a lot of injuries, and they broke a 3-game losing streak to the Tigers by winning by 12. Number 12 Clemson shutting out Furman 30-0 today. Oklahoma 73 points at home. They killed New Mexico State by 70. The Mountaineers of West Virginia averaged 43 in openers. They got 35 today and beat Ball State handily. New Mexico early beaten 65-0 by BYU last year, but they have an early field goal and lead in the second quarter. Pittsburgh 38-3 easily over Pacific this afternoon. It was North Carolina State in our early game on ESPN, ranked number 24 in the nation. A defensive struggle down in Raleigh, but the Wolfpack comes away 10-6 winners. Stanford Cardinal and number 18 Arizona doing battle out on the West Coast this evening, about to get underway. Number 21 Houston also out west to take on the Rebels of Nevada, Las Vegas. San Diego State and Air Force. A wild one in the Wacky Whack. A ball game like this, and you have to call the conference that sort of thing. First quarter, Air Force trailing 7-0. Cadets have it on their own 45. And D. Dowis starts an unbelievable day with an option for 55 yards, his first touchdown for a 7-7 tie. Later in the first quarter, Air Force on top by 7. Dowis again. This time, 28 yards, and the Air Force is flying 21-7. To the second quarter with the ball on the San Diego State 12. He goes up the middle for 12. Air Force leads by 21. Late in the second quarter, Dowis goes for TD number 4, shaking off a couple of tacklers. This is a 16-yard run. The Cadets celebrate it. They lead at 35-10, and Dowis goes on to have 2 more touchdowns on the day. 13 rushes, 249 yards, over 300 total yards, and 6 scores, setting a new WAC record. It was indeed TD Day at the Air Force Academy today. So the 52-36 final there. On we move. Colorado State with Earl Bruce at the helm against Johnny Majors. The Vols have it right now, 17-6 in the fourth quarter. It's now a final at Mississippi State. They hammer Vanderbilt of the SEC 42-7. The Ole Miss Rebels and the Memphis State Tigers. Ole Miss has it 10-0 at the half. The Duke Blue Devils and the Gamecocks of South Carolina, a battle down south, coming from behind to win it. South Carolina 27-21. And the Rutgers Scarlet Knights and the Cincinnati Bearcats, it was Rutgers by 17-3 in this game. Now they come back to tie it. Bino predicted 19-7. He says he doesn't like to throw terms like genius around, but he was pretty close on that one tonight. We'll be back favor this time around, playing up in Laramie. Howard Snellenberger building his Cardinals into a national power, and that came from Carwell Gardner. He takes Browning Nagel's pass here in the first quarter, and he will break 1, 2, and 3 tackles and go 53 yards for the score. One of 2 touchdown catches for him on the day. Louisville led it 14-0, but Wyoming would tie it at 21. In the fourth quarter, Nagel finds Dave Moyler down the sidelines, a 35-yard score. Nagel's 4th touchdown pass, and the Cardinals have plenty to celebrate as they win at 28-21 at Wyoming today. Idaho taking on Washington State, and the Cougars coming on strong, 41-7 a final in that one. Tulsa is playing on the road at UTEP. Tulsa the early lead, and the Miners have just come back to tie it in the second quarter. Louisiana Tech against Southwestern Louisiana, and Tech has it 27. They're just after halftime there. The Fordham Rams and the Colgate Red Raiders. Rams their first game in Division I AA, and they got beat by plenty, 35-3 today. Villanova, the Cats and the Spiders of Richmond, and Villanova wins it 20-17 this afternoon. The Penguins and the Black Bears matching up in Maine, and Maine comes away a 28-14 winner. Montana State Bobcats at Kansas, and the Jayhawks do it. They win it 41-17, their 100th year of football in Lawrence, Kansas. The Golden Flashes of Kent State and Eastern Michigan, the Hurons take it by a score of 30-7 in the Mid-American Conference. The Western Michigan Broncos of that same conference at home in Kalamazoo, edging Temple by a touchdown, 31-24. Ohio University Bobcats and the Rockets of Toledo at the Glass Bowl. It's 20-18 in the fourth quarter. Cal State Northridge, the Matadors, and the Long Beach State 49ers. Long Beach State wins it 28-9. Cal State Fullerton and Northern Illinois. Third quarter score, Northern on top, 20-10. The Western Kentucky Hilltoppers and the Redbirds of Illinois State, Western on top, 17-12. That's in the third quarter. Northwestern Louisiana, the Demons, and the Bears of Southwest Missouri State, a 10-10 deadlock. They're into the second half there. Mankato State and Northern Iowa. It's Northern Iowa's Panthers on top right now, 11-3 in the third quarter. Eastern Illinois, the Panthers, and the Governors of Austin Peay. It's Eastern 17 up in the second quarter. Western Carolina, the Catamounts, and Eastern Kentucky's Colonels. The Colonels on top, 31-7 in the fourth quarter. The Greyhounds of Eastern New Mexico on the road against the Grizzlies of Montana, who hammered them 41-15. Nevada Reno, 41-3 over the Salukis of Southern Illinois. And in the third, the Abilene Christian Wildcats on ESPN when we wrap up our college football scoreboard. But we've got more scores to take care of for you right now. Akron Zips and the Hokies of Virginia Tech meeting for the first time ever today as Jerry Faust took his team on the road, and it would be a rougher afternoon than he would expect. Watch the coach on the sidelines get hammered here on the play going out to the left, but he hung in there, ice pack and all. Virginia Tech was up 10-0 in the first quarter. First and 20, Will Furr drops it off to Myron Richardson, and he goes over the defender 39 yards at 16-0 Hokies. In the fourth quarter, Hokies driving again. Furr finds Richardson on the hook. Nice stutter step, and they win it 29-3. A nice win for Frank Beamer, the head coach of Virginia Tech today. Let's move on. Murray State handling Tennessee Martin at halftime. That one is 17-3. Middle Tennessee, the Blue Raiders, are on top in the second quarter. We'll update it now to the third. It was 24-0 at the half, an early field goal in the third quarter of play. Tennessee Tech, the Golden Eagles against the Bald Eagles of Lock Haven. It's Tech by 17-7 at the half. Appalachian State, no problem with Gardner-Webb, a final 43-7 there. East Tennessee, a squeaker on the road at VMI, winning at 17-16. Marshall, the Thundering Herd against Catawba, 34-0. Now we update it to 48-0. It's a final. Valdosta State on the road at Georgia Southern, and Irk Russell's team, as usual, winning handily 31-10 in that contest. James Madison, the Dukes against the Bloomsburg Huskies. It's fourth quarter action there, 48-3, no contest. Florida A&M, the Rattlers against the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee, 34-3 in the fourth quarter. Indiana State, the Sycamores over the Mules of Central Missouri State in the fourth quarter, but that one's still up for grabs at 21-15. Angelo State, the Rams on top of the Lamar Cardinals. It was 14-7. Now it's 17-14, Angelo State. Texas A&I, the Javelinas against the Bobcats of Southwest Texas State, 14-7 in the fourth quarter. The Cowboys of McNeese are leading Mississippi College third quarter scores, 7-0 there. Stephen F. Austin, the Lumberjacks and the Tigers of Jackson State, a field goal by Stephen F., and they lead at 10-7 at the half there. Hampton's Pirates over the Mississippi Valley Delta Devils, 6-3. That's in the third quarter of action. Howard, a 40-0 winner today over the District of Columbia, 31-20. Morgan State wins it over Norfolk State. They win it by 11 at home this afternoon. North Carolina A&T, 24. North Carolina Central, 6. That's a final. Delaware State, 41-0 over Cheney. And it was Morningside College, that team getting help from old mentor George Allen, beating Northwest College of Iowa 31-13. Individuals who've helped their ball clubs to wins, maybe not all winners, but certainly individually they were today. Kirk Schulz of Villanova, 317 yards passing and a couple of touchdowns. Carl Smith of Maine, 182 on the ground and 3 scores today. Dave Goodwin of Colgate, 20 of 28, 267 yards and 4 touchdowns. And Ventress Stevenson, a running back from Temple, 31 totes, 182 yards and 2 touchdowns. We'll credit him with 3 touchdowns today. And speaking of college football's Saturday heroes, Beto Cook and Lee Corso. And Lee, a lot of folks make a big deal about the tough schedule that Florida State plays. They were upset today, but nobody is playing a tougher schedule right now.